Yes, awesome. Okay, so Gloomhaven is the digital adaptation of the board game, which is a like 7 kilograms box. It's ginormous. The setup is insane. So having a digital version is kind of a good solution, especially if you don't have much room. There's a tutorial, which I will not play. There's multiplayer, which I tried with friends, is awesome. And then there's the choice between Guildmaster and the campaign, or the original campaign from the board game. So the Guildmaster, I haven't really... It's probably random missions, right? It says here, designed to master Gloomhaven's rules and mercenaries with over 100 new missions. So you can pick a difficulty, and then you can say you share or you split gold, and then you enable or disable DLCs. I'm just not gonna do that, although it's a cool option. I'm gonna show you the first bit of the campaign. It's not a major spoiler. It's just basically the campaign tutorial. Oh yeah, this is the multiplayer we had. Cool. And updated. Temporary enhancements will affect individual mercenaries. Can be removed to regain 75% of their original cost. Enhancements. Recommended. The updated. Yeah, we'll take that. Easy difficulty is not easy, so I think I'll roll with that. But I should be able to make it through normal. But it's hard. It's a hard game, and I'm gonna play on easy, which is the default, right? Nemo's. Oh, the discoverers. The discoveries. The discoveries. The discoverers. It's a bit of a clunky title. We are the discoverers of stuff. And house rules can be modified during the game. So this I can, yeah, there's the DLC and solo scenarios. This you can change during the game. Right. You have these options, at least some of them, in the board game, in the physical version. This is hard. This is the recommended version. Oh no, this is the harder one, and the more rewarding one. We play at home. We play with this. If you draw your attack rolls from a deck, it's a deck with modifiers. You can either go for +2 on a success and -2 on a failure, or you can go for double damage on a success and no damage on a failure. No damage on a failure can be very punishing. On the other hand, a critical hit, which is basically what this is very, you know, line of sight from the edge is what's in the book, in the rule book, and this is from the center of the hex, which is interesting. A line can be drawn from the center of or any corner of the attacker's hex. Okay. Yeah, the center line of sight makes more sense. Okay. Oh, no focus, no move. If there are no enemies or no valid path to a hex from which the summon can attack an enemy, the summon will not move. No focus, move choice. Sounds like it's more fun. Spawn monsters do not drop gold on death. No, they don't. Otherwise, exploit. Okay. Interesting. And this is how it starts.
Welcome to the harsh lands of Gloomhaven, recruit. You think you have what it takes to become a mercenary out there on the edge of the world? We are paid to venture into the darkest forests of the region and to step into ancient crypts with the unmistakable stench of death and rotting flesh. Lovely places to earn a name for yourself. Be ready to face cutthroats, undead, fearsome tribes, and dreadful demons from other realms. You didn't find yourself as a mercenary without knowing how to crack a few skulls, did you?
That was loud. Emery, welcome in. Right. So the cutscene was unexpected and loud, but that's okay. They are there to be listened to. How's it going, Emery? Happy weekend to you. Before going into the harrowing wilderness surrounding Gloomhaven, you will need at least 2 mercenaries in your party. Brave or greedy enough to seek out adventures in exchange for gold. On your left, you find your party panel. Click on the first character slot to open a roster. Okay. So we have a level 1 party with 0 reputation, and we really have no wealth and also no modifier in the city. That will change later. This is the game map, which I cannot drag with the mouse. That's a bit weird. Right? In the physical version of this, you have this huge board that you unfold, and then kind of like a permanent progression system where you put stickers on it. When you find a new location, you put a sticker in a certain location, and then you can access that. In the digital version, it's obviously not stickers, but things will unlock over time. And we are here in Gloomhaven, where we hire an adventurer. New mercenary. In the beginning, you can start with picking out of 6 different ones. And you can mouse over. You can click on the portraits. The Tinkerer. A good choice. Looks on everything. They have ability cards that you can check, hopefully. Here. These are your starting cards. It's basically a deck that you play with. Each time you venture out into an adventure. Later on you can change the deck and adjust the cards. So you see these little dots here. This way you can enhance abilities later on. Very later on. So the Tinkerer is what it says in the name. They've got gadgets and whatnot. They can heal or blow stuff up. They are a relatively versatile class. A bit squishy, right? So that's something it's mentioned here. Fragile, weaker and smaller teams has trouble opening tight jars. I'm not sure what a jar is. They probably mean rooms. No, probably not. I don't know. So not so great if I play with 2 characters now. Not so great in a small team. Scoundrel will try and take all the gold. Also, this is probably the last bit is fun. Yeah, the last bit is fun. Low mobility on the brute, poor ranged attack options, but high health, disarm and stun. And push enemies. Spellweaver. Good range damage dealing, no health, can die very fast. So let's see if they select me. Let me select 3. You can select the brute. Oh, Bornar. I don't know. Bornar. And now, when you pick a mercenary, you pick 1 out of 2 personal quests, which is what they are after. It's something they will hunt down over the course of their career as a mercenary, right? When they complete the objective, they retire, because then, you know, they have their personal quest fulfilled and then retire, which has an effect on the game as well. More on that later. Complete 1 base game quest in each area of the map. That's gonna take a long time. Kill demons. Also not easy. Farewells can be bitter. If they retire, there's an unlock. They unlock something for your consecutive playthroughs of the missions, and they increase the prosperity of the town. So it's always good to finish up a quest, but it's not always possible to do it early or quickly. So that will be the Demon Slayer. This one. Gornar the Demon Slayer. Hunting demons. So, I need at least 2. But I probably can play with 3. Make a new mercenary. Let's get a spellcaster. Maybe the Tinkerer, because they are really good at supporting. Not very creative, that one. Piety in all things. Complete 15 different scenarios. So they will auto-retire after completing 15 scenarios. Or, if they donate 120 gold, which is not a tiny amount, to unlock another one. And auto-retirement. Okay, we pick that. They just want to stop at some point. Okay, now we could start. Right, I should gear up at the merchants, which is here. You can buy and sell items here. It's very self-explanatory. City encounters are important before you venture out. Okay, so the first quest location is marked north of Gloomhaven. And later on, like I said earlier, you see more locations, right? That's going to come up. Now we can take up to 4 mercenaries, and I want to add a third one. We've got a big brute, we've got a tinkerer. Now we could add one of the other 4, and I have nearly not played with the spellweaver, so that would be interesting. And not easy. The spellweaver is very, very, very squishy. I don't know. I just put words in there. Zealot of the Blood God. Ooh. Oh yeah, this is going to be easy for them. Exhausting is when you can't draw any more cards while you're playing, and they are going through their cards quickly, so they exhaust a lot. That's gonna work. Right, so now that's how quickly you can make a party of 3. We should actually really equip them. They all start with 30 gold, which you can use to go and shop for items that you can use during combat or during the missions. Now, we've got potions. Our disciple of the blood god here. Right. Now they start with 11 cards in the pool, but they can only equip 8 for the mission. They can equip 12. They can equip 10, so it's different, right? So 8 cards is really not a lot. And some cards can only be played once, and so on and so forth. So that way, you can build your deck. So I could now switch out some cards and look for synergy effects. The Spellweaver can create elements which can be used to cast spells, and they use them themselves as well. So we could now look our Tinkerer here. They create fire. I think they also use up elements. I'm not 100% sure. For ice, they can discard 2 cards instead of... Oh, recover 2 cards. Okay. So they're using up ice with this one. Right, it's the symbol down here. Consuming an element. The other symbol that you saw here is making or infusing is called an element. Interesting. I'll leave the decks as they are, but you could now start and do some deck building and find some more synergies. Hey Deviate, welcome. But this is the basic start. Oh, you tried it for like 10 minutes. Okay. I just showed a bit of the introduction here for the campaign. We created 3 characters. I explained a bit about how the cards work. But you don't need to know the details to start this. You just have to sort of play and figure it out. Since I played the physical version, I know a lot of things, but I also keep forgetting rules. And the advantage of a digital version is that you can't really cheat or make it worse for yourself, which happens in these types of games, that you sometimes misinterpret rules and make it much harder for yourself than necessary. I'm currently going to go shopping with the starting gold we have. And try to buy some shenanigans that work here. So leather armor lets you gain disadvantage. Well, the attacker gains disadvantage on the next 2 times you get attacked. Disadvantage for them means they draw 2 cards and have to pick the worst one for them. So if they draw a 0 and the -1, they have to take the -1, for example. You played the tutorial. All right. No, don't say useless. On the next 2 sources of damage from attacks targeting you, gain shield 1. There's a downside. You have to add a -1 card to your damage roll deck. It's not the case on the leather armor. A -1. I guess the brute can do with leather armor. So Gornar has leather armor, and Gornar is probably also going to buy a potion of minor healing. Or stamina? Stamina. Right, that's their gold spent. Formula things. Ooh, enjoy. Thanks for stopping by, DV8. Enjoy the lurk. Our Tinkara is probably a quick little fella. For 20 gold, we can get boots that allow us to jump and a healing potion. So they can stay alive to heal the others. And our sorcerer, Chell, will get a power potion. So deal more damage and maybe also a cloak of invisibility. And then we're all set. Now, that's our starting solution here. We've got Brute, a Tinkerer, and Spellweaver, and they have starting equipment, and we will have to equip that, which I would have forgotten. Nearly. But it's, you know, it's blinking. There's a very strong exclamation mark there. But still, I would have forgotten. I would have assumed that it was auto-equipped. It's not. Right. Easy mistake. The tutorial told you about that, though. I just clicked the window away. This is our first mission, I think. The first quest. Yay. Okay, but first, before we leave the town of Gloomhaven, that has many districts, right? The big city. We will have an encounter in the city. You are attending to business in the sinking market when a frail white-haired woman approaches you and grabs you by the arm. "Oh my, don't you look strong?" she says. "Could you possibly assist me with a small problem I'm having in my cellar?" Rats. So many rats. Okay, so she needs pest control. What kind of adventurer are you? Right? This is a bit... There's a bit of choice involved here. And there's a reputation that you can create for your band of mercenaries. And it could be that you don't help feeble old women with their rats in the basement because you don't care. Seeing how we are the follower of the blood god, the demon hunter, and the whatnot, we might just not help her because we ain't got time for that. Now, we got a hit on our reputation. The party's reputation has been influenced. It has an influence on the cost of items in the merchant shop and the outcome of other encounters. Good deeds are often rewarded, but they can be so much less fun. The choice is yours. Good deeds are often rewarded is a bit... They do stretch that meaning during the game a lot. So, we didn't help. You pull your arm away, her filthy grasp... from her filthy grasp and step away, making apologies for being too busy. Your excuses lack the proper tact, however, and soon the woman is bawling in the street, lamenting that no one will help her and how the rats will kill her in her sleep and then feast on her corpse. The whole speech is very graphic, and passers-by begin to give you odd looks, wondering what you could have done to upset the poor woman so intensely. So we take our leave. We have more important business to attend to. I'm currently curious. I thought there was a narration, but maybe not. Combat log, enable, everything on. Okay. House rules, difficulty. Yeah, we're playing on easy with house rules as recommended. That's what we're doing here. And I'm probably not going to make it through the first mission. We'll see. Now might be a good time to go through the mercenaries' ability cards and inventory to make sure they are battle ready. They are battle ready. Our enemies will be bandit archers, bandit guards, living bones, and we are supposed to kill everybody. Everywhere. All the bloody time. It's a core quest in the corpse wood, which is here. It's at the edge of the corpse wood. We have an unclaimed reward here, and we can find a treasure chest. So that's good.
Everyone needs to eat.
There it is.
Whatever your reason for coming to Gloomhaven, out here on the edge of the world, that simple fact is never going to change. A mercenary can't fight on an empty stomach.
And then I click to continue.
So when Jexera, a Valrath woman wearing a red cloak and enough gold jewelry to keep you fed for a decade, approaches you in the Sleeping Lion and offers to pay you 10 gold coins to track down a thief and retrieve some stolen goods, well, seems like as good an excuse as any to sober up and start paying off your tab.
Right, she seems like a trustworthy person.
This thief has taken some important documents, says the red-skinned merchant, her tail whipping about in agitation. I don't care what you do to him. Just bring back what is mine. Based on Jexera's description, it was easy enough to knock around a few alley thugs and get a location of the thief's hideout. You don't find yourself as a mercenary way out in Gloomhaven without knowing how to crack a few skulls. So your target is the Black Barrow. Sounds like a lovely place.
Yeah, indeed. Right, and we venture out to the Black Barrow, but encounter. So on the way somewhere, there's always I think it's called a road event as opposed to the city event. And here we have walking along the edge of a forest. You begin to hear a strange, unfamiliar sound coming from beyond the trees. You stop and listen closer. There is a rhythm to the sounds, and with that established, you begin to pick out different human voices in the mix. You'd venture to say that the noise vaguely sounds like chanting. Well, no need to get mixed up in whatever is going on. We have a purpose and a goal and a target. Maybe just, without a second thought, you get back onto the main road and continue moving toward your destination. Not gonna just disturb some druids randomly.
The hill is easy enough to find. A short journey past the new market gate, and you see it jutting out on the edge of the corpse wood, looking like a rat under a rug. Moving closer, you see the mound is formed from a black earth. Its small, overgrown entrance presents a worn set of stone stairs leading down into the darkness. As you descend, you gratefully notice light emanating from below. Unfortunately, the light is accompanied by the unmistakable stench of death. You contemplate what kind of thieves would make their camp in such a horrid place as you reach the bottom of the steps. Here, you find your answer. A rough group of cutthroats who don't seem to have taken very kindly to your sudden appearance. One in the back matches the description of your quarry.
Aha, the thief. So, before entering a dungeon, each mercenary must choose one out of 2 battle goals. That is just for the battle we're in, not for the entirety of their career, which is different. Those are the personal goals, right? A battle goal is secret. As I'm playing all three, it doesn't really matter, but in multiplayer or when you play the physical version, it's kind of cool to dance around what's going on and trying to achieve your battle goal for your own game versus the better, the group effort or whatever. And you have to consider how much you can risk. Failing the battle goals has no drawback, but successfully completing them will earn rewards. Right, so for Gornar the Brute, they can pick between Workhorse or Executioner. The objective for Workhorse would be gain 13 or more experience points during the scenario. The reward is a perk point. It's always 1 or 2 perk points. I think there's no other reward on battle goals. Anyway, or Executioner, kill an undamaged monster with a single attack action during the scenario, get a perk point. I'll try that. Or this. That would be the sustainable way of... I don't know if I can gain that much. XP. Like this is 2. I can only use it once, but then I get 2 XP. You get 1 XP for every kill. As such. Gain 1 XP for each time you retaliate this round. That could be very effective. 2 and only once. So I've got a few cards that can only use once. It's this symbol here. It says you burn it. So you can use it only once in that complete scenario here, currently in the Black Barrow. There's 2. Yeah, okay, there's lots of burns. Then there's this for 1. And this for 1. Yeah, okay. 13 if I'm super efficient. It's still a lot. Do I do enough damage to get 1 hit? Oh yeah, this would work. I think it's easier to kill 1 with this instead of getting 13 XP. So we're gonna get the Executioner. The Tinkerer chooses between Dynamo, which is kill a monster during this scenario by causing at least 4 more points of damage to it than necessary. Total overkill. Or kill 5 or more monsters. They are the healer support character in this group, so probably one-time damage is insane. And the Spellweaver gets Hunter. Kill 1 or more elite monsters during this scenario, or cause a trap to be sprung or disarmed on your turn or on the turn of one of your summons during this scenario. Disarm traps is not really in there. On the next 2 sources of damage to you suffer no damage instead. I could use that, the frost armor, to get into a trap. I don't really have push or pull effect because you can use those to put enemies into the trap. Right, cause a trap to be sprung on your turn could also be done with putting an enemy in there. So they're gonna hunt the elite enemy. Now everybody's got their goals and their plans and their whatnots, and now we can start. So first time setup is a bit more. The next missions you play, you don't really have to pick new mercenaries every single time. It happens, but not so many times.
Take care of these unfortunates, your target says, backing out of the room. You can vaguely make out his silhouette as he retreats down a hallway and through a door to his left. Well, it's not every day we get people stupid enough to hand-deliver their valuables to us, grins one of the larger bandits, unsheathing a rusty blade. We'll be killing you now. Joke's on them. If you had any valuables, you probably wouldn't be down here in the first place.
Indeed. And that's how it starts. That's the user interface. In the top you have the turn order. It's us. In the order depending on the cards we pick. And then it's the enemies. Currently we have our brute selected here. Which is unmistakably the brute. Our quest goal is kill all enemies in all rooms, and our brute's goal for this battle is to, for this scenario here, is to kill an undamaged monster with a single attack. So, seeing how they all have 5 health, I need to have a good roll on that 6. Right? So, you can see your attack cards. Where do you see them? I saw it somewhere a second ago. Well, on the enemies you see it, and on yourself as well. Okay, so on the right, in the window, I hope I can I scale the user interface a bit more? It's, you know, it would be great if I could scale it just a tiny bit more, but I don't think that's a thing. No. Aw, pity. That would actually be helpful if the user interface could be scaled up a bit. I'm playing on 1440p here, and the card information is on the smaller side of things, but everything else is really an appropriate size. So I'm just gonna call it out here. We've got one card in the deck on the right, in the box that says attack modifiers, below executioner, right? Can't really... Can't really show that in a different way. One card that says I deal no damage. One card that says I deal double damage. So those are the two extremes, left and right of the scale here. Then we've got one card that says +2, and another card that says -2. And then a few cards, I think it's 4 or 5, that say -1 or +1, and then 0, no modifier. Those are the cards you have to draw when you attack. So if I do my spare dagger here, it's an attack 3, range 3, and I draw a -2, I'm going to deal 1 damage. That's going to happen. All's fair though, the enemies also have a deck that looks very similar. Over the course of the game, you level up your characters and you can modify that deck so that your chances of dealing damage, more damage, they increase. So that's one way to improve your character's power, and you get different cards, better cards, and you can improve the cards you have for each character. So you slowly level up. It's a yeah, I would say it's a slow progression, but it's very meaningful. So if you level up your character and pick a new card, or you increase one card's power or change how they work a bit, that really means a lot, and it's very noticeable when you play, and that makes it so good. It's one of the reasons this game is so good. That's how I would put it, anyway. So, the numbers in the front here. Right, now that I know how my attacks are going to be modified, if I want to do my goal here, one of the bandits has to eat the big attack. Or I wait for another enemy in the next room. That's totally possible. Middle mouse button turns the camera, I think Q and E also. Right, so you can zoom out, play it nearly top down, I think. So you get a good view of things. The numbers in the front of the cards here. This is basically the deck I started with, and for the rest of this scenario, those are the cards I have to play with. Some cards can be played, or I should put it differently. You always have an up and a down side. The top and the bottom side, not up and down, top and bottom. And when you pick a card to play, you have to choose if you play the top part or the bottom part of the card, and you can always only play one top and one bottom part in each turn. The number on the card, or in the list here, it's on the left. Oh, here, that's the modifier. There you go. That's much bigger, easier to see. Very good. The number indicates the turn order. So 10 is very early, 87 is very late in the turn. And all my characters, they pick their 2 cards, right? And the enemies also draw cards, and that determines the turn order. So at first we don't really know Are they fast? Are they slow? I mean, you can look at them. They are humans, so they're probably average. And but you don't know when they will take their turn. And if you play this in multiplayer, the recommendation is that you don't say I play a 10 and a 54, but you instead say I'm going to try to be fast about this and rush them or something like that, which works with the numbers you picked. Right? I'm going to stand back and wait, and channel Fireball would be something that Weaver could say if they are conjuring up something that's going to take a long time, and then they will take their turn at the end of the round. So if you have initiative 1, you're first. If you have initiative 100, you're last. If it's the same for the enemies and the players, I think the players are first. Don't quote me on that though. I'm not really 100% sure. Do you have card? No. We play it out of the box, and we played through the campaign once, and then some extra scenarios, and now we're playing the expansion, or we are trying to find time to do that. But the cards, they look like new, with a few exceptions. There are some cards that get used a lot more often than others, but most cards barely get used at all. Like shuffling happens on the attack modifier decks for the enemies and the characters, but that's it. Nearly all the other cards, they don't really get any use. So if you buy a used version of Gloomhaven, you're good, unless the person playing it was with very sticky fingers. Yeah. Putting them in sleeves is a lot of work, and for this game, I wouldn't recommend it at all. I don't think it's making a lot of sense. There are other games where you have much more card handling moments. Yeah. And they are decent quality, so they don't really fizzle out at the edges quickly, right? So yeah, that's the basic. Now I'm gonna pick a card here for the brute, and then we'll see what we do. Okay, so we've got 6 enemies, which seems fair. The brute can handle 5, and the other one gets split between the Spellweaver and the Tinkerer. So that's a push. That would be great if we had traps. This is good. The gray hex indicates our character, and they would attack 2 hexes in front of them with this cleave, which seems like a good choice, right? If we can now find a card for the bottom action that says move 1, 2, 3, move 4, move 3, push. Right. Yeah, I would need to use one of the move 4. Oh, here, what's this? That's a burn card. I can move 4 and jump if I want to over obstacles and enemies and whatnot, and then I attack everybody I move through. But I can only use this once. Another thing you need to know is that you can use every card's top as a 2 attack and the bottom as a 2 move instead of what's on the card. So you could, save this card for later by not playing it for its burn effect. Oops. But you still want the move of it. I'm not sure why you want... Yeah, anyway, but it's an example. So now, if I move there and charge them, it might be that I end up getting attacked by everything. Every one of them, right? So charging in is rather dangerous. I do have the leather armor, which gives the first 2 attacks against the brute disadvantage. That helps. Okay, first I have to use the cards, and then I have to remember to use that. Let's see. So I could use this here, retaliate 2, each time you retaliate this round. Right? I wouldn't need to make sure that they also all attack me. The enemies have a rule set which they follow, which is closest shortest way and most efficient attack. Those are the 3 rules they follow. Also, line of sight has to be a thing for ranged attacks, but that's how they choose which one they attack. And the one who goes first, the fastest character with the lowest initiative card, gets attacked if there's a tie between all the other things. Rough explanation. Nice leather. That's a style. Very true. So I could try to move here and then retaliate. Instead of rushing in and attacking them, I could just let them, you know, take it out on me. But I would need to be quick. Right? And in a multiplayer game, if you say, yeah, I'm going to rush them and, you know, going to keep them busy, and the Spellweaver picks an initiative that's lower, or the Tinkerer does, and they stand in a spot where they can reach them, the enemies, right? Then your retaliate might just not do anything because they attack the other 2 because they had other ideas. So if you play solo, it's a bit different. I think solo play and group play is equally awesome, but it's a different beast. It gets very puzzly, this game as well. But I'm gonna try this retaliate thing here. I'm gonna play eye for an eye. I don't have to choose now. I just choose 2 cards. I explained that wrong. You choose 2 cards and then you decide if you play it for this or that, and then for the other one. Right. But it's one attack, one top, one bottom action. So we need to move 3. Here. It's going to create air. That might be helpful for the others. Now 2 cards are selected. Now I pick the Spellweaver. See, they could go with the Mana Bolt because they think, oh, I'm going to stay at range. That means the enemies will try to attack them. But if the Brute is closer, they will detect the Brute instead. I hope that makes sense. It's not that complicated. The tutorial is very much recommended to play so you get an idea of how this game works. Otherwise, it will be overwhelming. The rule book is not super thick, but there's a lot of stuff in there. But the digital version helps managing all of that. The physical version, like I said earlier, is a lot of work to put on the table, and yeah, just a lot of work to put on the table. But it's fun. I think it's worth it. So we've got attack 2, range 4. Attack 2, range 2. Range 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4. If I wanted to stay at range, I would have to have range 4. Move 8. Would you look at that? We can teleport. So Mana Bolt is a good starter. That's a range 3. So if I move over here, I can shoot them in the face. Or over here and pick them, right? Or over here and pick them. So we'll take Mana Bolt. But then we have the lower initiative, right? I can pick a different card first, because the first card you pick out of the 2 determines the initiative. So if I want to play this, but I don't want to have the initiative, I can play this first, and then that, right? And up here you see the number in the turn order that you got. 69 is rather late, so maybe we don't want that. It's also good to pick cards that are useful, not only for a single action that is possible in this room now, right? But it's the most fun to do that anyway. Yeah, I can use this for the move. And I'm going to go very late and basically do cleanup. So I'm going to use this as my bottom action for moving, most probably. Or I'll jump across. But 3 targets, 3 damage. Oh, that would be cleaning up the room, but we don't know what's behind the door, right? Oh, so do I hold back? Nah. I'm gonna do this. Fire orbs. Or flame strike. That's also a good one. But it's range 2. I have move 4, okay. Options. I wanted to go with the mana bolt, right? Let's do the mana bolt instead. And the Tinkerer is gonna do crowd control with a stun attack. I'm gonna stun one of the nasty. For this one, for the enhancement field, I would need to be better positioned. Create a trap. Oh. Attack and pull. A decoy. A harmless contraption. A decoy seems like a smart thing. Oh, here. Toxicity. Instead of the stun shot, I'm gonna poison someone. I wonder who's first. It currently looks like it's gonna be the Tinkerer. Gonna take this for mobility? No. Yeah, okay. I've got 2 cards. Now, the enemies draw their card. For this turn, they're going to move 1 and then attack for 3. And they are very late in the turn order. They have 5 health. They can move a maximum of 2. This turn they move only 1 though. They normally attack for 2, but now they attack for 3. So this is their modifier, basically. And this is their base. Okay, so the Tinkerer starts, and then you do your turn, and yeah, it's very well done. It is very well done. Playing a mission takes a bit of time, even in the digital non-setup version. Obviously, I'm explaining stuff and talk, so it takes much longer. You might already be through the mission now if you play this on your own time, but it still takes quite some time. That needs to be said. But I think you can save any time. Not 100% sure. We can test that at the end of the showcase now in 10 minutes. Now, Tinkerer starts. They haven't moved yet. I can move 2. 1, 2. Confirm. I'm not going to use the boots. And then, see, I used the bottom action. So it's automatically grayed out on the other card. So you can't accidentally play 2 top actions. We're going to attack 2 at range 3. We poison them. So they will take more damage from consecutive attacks later on, and we also create the earth element. Now we get a preview, which one we can target, so that's really easy. And I'll take the one in the corner. Now, confirm. And we roll a +1, so I did ultimately end up with 3 damage and they're poisoned. Now I could use my potion or end my turn. Right? Nearly an hour. Well, an hour and 3 minutes, yes. Teabag, welcome in. I have to restart. You can scroll, you can go, you have a time machine though. You can just scroll back the video. And then you can, you know. I'm gonna go for a break for food at some point, and then you can catch up to real time. Now, the Tinkerer did their thing. Now it's gonna be the Brute's turn, and then it's the Bandits. All of them. So, you know, I need to make sure that this is going to work out nicely. They have got the same initiative here, right? So the enemies will target both. And they will prefer to hit the one that's closer to them because they are in this turn they are doing a melee attack, so they are trying to get into melee range with the fewest possible steps. So if I place the brute here, I should stop them, basically that one, from hitting the Tinkerer. That's the theory. So I'm gonna move 3, confirm, and then retaliate against attacks. For this whole round, and activate the leather armor. Low? No? That's what I wanted to do. Restart round? No, I wanted to... Okay, I forgot how to handle the items then. I probably have to... Oh, maybe I can decide that when I get attacked. We'll see. So the goal would be that these two and them, they move 1 and then attack for 3. So I get attacked 3 times, they all get 2 retaliation, and the first 2 attacks, they have disadvantage to minimize the damage. I could die from this now. This is a very silly plan. You should not copy this. It's completely insane. But if it works, it's cool. Right. Right, so I'm going to block the bandits, keeping them busy. Tinkerer poisoned that one, and the you know, that's next turn. Now, bandit guards. Disadvantage. Oh, the leather armor is active automatically. But I didn't activate it. So, yeah, okay. So, the bandit draws a -1 and a -1, and they had to pick the worst one out of those 2. And now I can decide if I want to take the 2 damage or burn a card, which means I can't use it for the rest of this scenario to not get any damage. So I will receive 2 damage. They get 2 retaliation. I get 1 XP. They move 1, they move 1. They have to pick... Oh, that was lucky. That was lucky. This was, and again, the leather armor. They had to draw 2 cards. One was a -1, the other one was a critical hit, and they had to take the worst one. So, without the leather armor, I would have gotten 6 damage now, instead of 2. So I'll take the 2 damage. That's quite alright. But a third bandit is in range with a 0. I'll take that as well. And they get a retaliation. That one already moved. I'm not sure they didn't move at all. That's weird. They should have moved. Interesting. I didn't know they could not move. Just because. Funky. Is everybody present? Yes, no, maybe. The coffee was here, so I had to start. I got 6 minutes to resolve the first room, maybe. Right, now, our sorceress here, our spellweaver, she was waiting, conjuring up her energies, right? She was totally not waiting how this plays out to stay in an advantage. That's maybe totally what she did. Now, I could decide to play my cards differently here. And... oh no, I can't get close enough to heal them. I was just thinking I could maybe heal, but that's a range 1. If I do this, I have to take the top action, which that doesn't make any sense, right? So we're gonna use the move, and after that I can attack at range 3. So I can stay here. Yeah, that's a good plan. Move to the Tinkerer. The Tinkerer has boosts that work for surrounding allies, so we're closely. Move here, but I don't think I want that. I want to skip the last movement, and now I can use up the air and the earth. I think I can only get 1 bonus, but we'll see. So it's at range 3. The brute needs 1 of them to stay at full health to kill. that would be this one. Or that one in the corner. So assuming I do 3 damage, I could take out that one, or that one, or that one. I'll take the one in the back. 1, 2, 3. I should be able to attack them. Yeah. Right. I'll add. Normally you would now check if you can use either element with another character. I'm just going to consume the earth element here, and that would be attack 3 against them in the back here. And I get 1 XP, which is also very useful. Confirm. I rolled a -2, so I do 1 damage. Super. Okay, now we're gonna die. I could turn invisible here with the Spellweaver now, because maybe that's smart. Oh, that was unlucky. I would have done 2 damage on a 0. Plus I consumed the element, which is a +1. Oh. Bad luck. So if we go back to the modifier deck, the -2 is the second worst card I could have pulled out of all those cards. Ah! But, you know, if it tips the other way around and you just smash an enemy with a fireball or a group or whatever, it's really, really good. Yeah, but that was really not so fun. So now that we survived the first turn, fair enough, I guess. I'm gonna have to use the stamina potion for the brute very soon, I think. I could shield early to maybe get, you know, that distracts 1 damage from every attack for the rest of the round, so that's pretty good. But didn't we have this this funky move through? Which one was that? Here, this card. We can use it only once. We would move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just, you know, we could move through the enemies here with that card. And each of the enemies we move through... Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to land outside of an enemy. So we could... 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that would work. I would move through 3 enemies, and all of them would get attacked for 2 plus what I... or minus what I draw. At the same time, it's not only dealing damage, but also moving me back in the corner where I might be safe from whatever they are doing next. So that seems like a very good idea. But I don't want to do it at the end of the turn, so I need to pick a card that's faster. I could disarm this one before I do that. Disarm. Trample. That's a pretty good one. Nobody puts me in the corner but me. Right? And then you start puzzling out how you want to try to survive this totally unfair game that I'm currently playing on easy. And it's no shame to play this on easy, by the way. And even making it easier on yourself furthermore with house rules and whatnot. The game gives you options. Here. These are the easier rules already. This here is a bit... I prefer the +2, -2 instead of the crit and no damage, because dealing no damage is so punishing. So punishing. And you always, obviously not, but it feels like you always draw them on your best laid out plans. Like, I do this and that, and then move over here, and then I shoot them, and then the ceiling comes down, and everybody's dead, and then you draw a 0. Everybody gets a bit of dust on the head. Crap. So I like to do at least a bit of damage. But if you play with this version and you do criticals, which is double the damage, right? That can lead to insanely awesome moves. So you have to pick your poison here. This is very specific. You can change that later. And these you can change these while you play. If you feel like you don't get enough gold, you can let spawn monsters drop gold. Normally they don't. I never felt like I had too much gold in the game, but later on you get a lot. Oh, not too much, but a lot. Anyway, so yeah, you puzzle out the shenanigans, and then you win or lose the scenario, and you know, go back to town. Try to revive anybody who can. Try to maybe buy some equipment, and also eventually hire new peeps because the other ones didn't make it. No, you don't. There's no permadeath, right? When someone exhausts, they can't continue playing in the battle, but they go back to town and can try again for the next mission. There's no permadeath. That wouldn't make any sense. The game's way too hard for that. But yeah, that's the baseline of Gloomhaven. And like we had the question earlier, I think it's a really good digital version. I still enjoy having the physical game here, and I enjoy playing that a lot when I have the time to do the setup. But if you don't want to bother paying €100 or more for a Gloomhaven, and also have no space for a 6 kilogram box of stuff, and I'm not kidding, it's huge, it's ginormous. There's so much stuff in there, and the digital version as well as the physical version, they both offer lots of replayability after you did the campaign. But honestly, the campaign takes so long. I think we played on it for over a year, with, you know, normal amounts of time available, which is like every other week, every 2 weeks or something like that. Which is a varying amount for people, because some people are just better at tinkering with stuff like this, and they maybe are a bit more lucky or whatever, but it's a lot of game in there, in both the physical and the digital. So that's all I could show in 1 hour. I was mostly talking, but that's really also the point, because I don't want to spoil anything. You just saw the startup, how the game delivers its atmosphere, and how they present all progress made on this round will be lost. Okay. So it saves per round, right? You can then come back, continue, and you're back in the dungeon on the current round, or in the last round, it doesn't matter. So you can basically save any time. You don't need to have like 4 hours per session for larger missions later on, because they will take a long time. Yeah, there we go. So round 2. At the start of a new round, you can just go to the main menu and continue another day. It's really good. No. In the corner? But yeah, Gloomhaven. It's very much worth picking up. If you're not sure, wait for a sale.